Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good afternoon from me. Good morning.
Good day,
to you.
mate.
Good day, mate.
You're going to have to bring the energy today, Andy. I'm a little sick, a little under the
Okay.
weather.
I can do that.
I brought the energy last episode, triggered a whole lot of Yankees fans with some of my comments and with some of my videos I've put up since then. Yankees fans are crashing out. So it's time for you to, I don't know, go after Bill Belichick or something.
No, you know what? It's funny you say that. Go after it. Complete opposite. I am going to. You teed me up. I was going off on text to my buddy about the dumbness of the NFL owners and Bill Belichick. He's essentially been. I've read enough articles on it. He's essentially been blackballed.
Weird.
So weird.
For what reason?
He wants too much control, and owners are saying no. We're not like, and I guess I'm exaggerating a little with blackball, but the Athletic did an interesting article on it where it was like enough anonymous sources are saying we're not giving that up to him. No, nobody wants. This isn't the old days, and I'm like, okay, so you guys all have egos, and you don't want to win. But quick fun fact on that, and I said this going into the year. I was almost rooting for the demise of the Atlanta Falcons because you chose Raheem Morris over Belichick. Now, obviously, I'm a Belichick defender. We all know. And obviously, they've cheated. And I'm not like going to even go down that too much. But it's like at the end of the day, they won. He's won the most Super Bowls. That's why I've always been a big Belichick stan. And I think his system clearly works. But here's a fun fact.
I mean, listen, the last few years weren't great, but what I envisioned for him, and I was really hopeful that the Giants would do, was some sort of Pat Riley type role. Let me point out, the Knicks are just finally recovering from not giving Pat Riley control of the organization when it comes to basketball decisions. And the Heat have had how much success since then. The Knicks are finally figuring out. And I think there's not a single Knicks fan, there's not a single Knicks owner, there's not a single person that's worked for the organization besides maybe the current brain trust that would say the Knicks would have been infinitely better off in the past and up to and including today had they just said, oh, you want to be the president of basketball operations and you want a part ownership in the team? Here you go.
Yeah, and what I was about to say about the Falcons. Guess what the Falcons is right now, entering this week in points per game? 25th. And here's a fun fact.
I'm getting very, very few, especially compared to the last few years, very few Kirk Cousins defense texts and tweets. And
so
and
Cousins
DMs
is having a rough year. Yeah, exactly. Cousins having a rough year.
Almost none. It's weird. Like no one's telling me, no one's talking about his offensive line. No one's talking about his weapons. No one's talking about his defense. Just all the Kirk Cousins defenders have entirely vanished. I think that there is a chance that they were on an airplane with the Brock Purdy defenders and that airplane crashed onto an island like Lost.
Well, hold on one second.
And that maybe I'll get some messages, via, a message in a bottle or something like that.
Let me finish this thing on the Falcons. They're 25th in points per game, right? So the defense is obviously a major issue. We all know how much the defense ultimately affects the offense. But here's a fact. I just looked it up. I said, what are the Patriots' points per game under Belichick? What were they? The worst season, the worst ever. His whole time in New England, the worst season was, I believe, his last year coaching. They were 14th in points per game out of 32 teams. So the worst season ever under Bill Belichick in 20 years, 20 plus years, was 14th. So they were always in the top half. And realistically, if you go through those, probably majority top 10, a lot of majority, not majority, but a ton of top 5. My point is, guys, he's a defensive guy. You chose Raheem Morris. Again, because I think a lot of these guys, and it sounds like it, Robert Kraft really put it out there. And these guys are all buddy and they're all chummy and they're all billionaires. And like I said, in a way, it's a blackballing of Bill Belichick. And apparently he knew this. Even with openings that we knew were going to happen, I guess we all thought, and we were wrong, oh, somebody's going to just hire him. Apparently that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah.
That's why he took the UNC job, because he wanted to coach. Now, look, I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that. My buddy texted me. He goes, what do you think? How do you think it's going to work out? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know the college game. I don't understand how it works now with the NIL, and I don't know.
You know, he hired a GM.
I saw that.
So listen, if you're 18, think about, like, Deion's career was over a lot earlier than Bill Belichick's career. And people are essentially going there to play for Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I think it's different, though. I think Deion is appealing.
Sure, but Deion Sanders is appealing. What, in stories? Like,
well, I'm just saying, if you're a young black kid, let's just, like,
I'm just saying you have to look up who Deion Sanders is.
But my point is, Deion's way more appealing than old white curmudgeon.
Sure, but I'm
Bill
saying
Belichick.
like the the prisoner of the moment thing is real. Look at anybody. Ask any fucking across sports. Ask anybody who the GOAT is. Besides the propaganda machine that is Michael Jordan, like across sports, people are like, oh, it's Brady. Oh, who's the GOAT coach of all time? Oh, it's Belichick. Oh, it's this. Like, who's the greatest this of all time? It's Jokic. It's this. It's that. Like, these guys saw as kids Belichick be in every Super Bowl as a coach. If you want to win, that's got to be on your mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. By the way, I'm not saying he's going to do bad.
I'm not saying he's going to do bad either.
I don't know. I don't know if you've seen. There's been a lot of pieces, mostly negative. How there's no way he succeeds. He's never coached college. He's going into homes to recruit kids. Who knows if he's actually going to do that? Like you said, he already hired a GM.
Also, do you have to go into a home these days? We run a podcast together twice a week. You live in Ohio.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
I got on the Zoom today. I'm like, I'm sick. You can see it. Like, the world is a lot smaller these days. I'm not defending I actually think it's a bit of a cowardly move by Bill Belichick. I think he should have held out and tried to get an NFL job. Like, you were chasing an all-time coaching's win thing, and it's just like, what's the end game here? Coaching college football for like how long?
Well, that's my thing. I agree. I was shocked. You're 15 wins away from the all-time wins record from Don Shula. I'm assuming in his head, because he's 72, he's old. I'm assuming he says, hey, if I can revive a program that's really never been anything, so I shouldn't even say revive. If I can take North Carolina to a consistently 10-win team, after 2 to 3 years, I can get an NFL job.
True or false? Lawrence Taylor and Michael Jordan will at separate times go with Bill Belichick on a recruiting trip. Michael Jordan wasn't showing up with fucking who the fuck ever was the coach.
It was Mac Brown. I don't think Jordan will. Lawrence Taylor will. The kids might have to Google him for sure. He's like,
I also think that there's still a chance. I think this could be a turn the team around a la Deion, where it's just like it's a conversation. They win. They're in the mix. They're in the top 25 after not being in top 25. Maybe they're a top 8 team for a minute, or they win the God knows what. I couldn't even begin to guess what conference they're in. I'm assuming the Pac-12.
They're in the ACC. Pac-12
they're in the ACC.
Exist. Pac-12 doesn't exist.
Right. This is why I couldn't even begin to guess. I didn't think the ACC existed. I'll be totally honest with you.
Well, what's funny is the ACC includes teams like California.
Right.
Cal's in the ACC.
So maybe he wins. He gets an automatic bid. I would not be surprised if we see a Steve Belichick UNC head coach 2 years from now.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Bill's back in the NFL.
That's what they're saying. He's probably going to bring, because I think his son was a defensive
I don't know who
coordinator.
they are, but I haven't been reading any of it, and I'm saying it.
Well, I'm reading because I'm a Belichick guy.
Is this what's been going on in the athletic comments? I haven't checked your athletic comments, but there is a couple. You have got a couple of exchanges the last few days.
Oh,
this is all Bengal stuff.
We'll get to that. That's Bengal stuff.
Okay.
By the way, you said for me to pick up the slack this episode. I got a whole thing that Bengals fans are not going to like to hear, and
I'll lay down. I'll lay down like I'm fucking at therapy.
I've already kind of previewed it for our boy Justin Wood about my opinions on Joe Burrow that are starting to change.
Whoa.
Ever so slightly. Yeah. But
Justin is very upset right now if he's listening. Also, Justin, if you're listening, I would say I have about the same chances of showing up to your show tonight as McConkey does for playing for the Chargers this weekend. It's going to be a game time decision. It's questionable. I'm not feeling well.
Well, to kind of wrap up the Belichick talk, I don't know. Neither of us are saying like I don't know. I'm not going to go on record and be like, oh, he's going to be great or he's.
I can guarantee you one thing. I'm not going to care at all.
Well, I'm intrigued. I'm not going to be.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way: I'm not watching North Carolina games, but I'm intrigued. And look, was I there for the memes and all the funny posts about him having like a 22-year-old girlfriend?
Yeah.
And all the funny things. There were a lot of funny things that made me laugh like out loud, and I was here for that, and I'll be continue to be here for that. But let
me ask you something.
Go ahead.
If week 2 of the college football season next year, they upset like a 17th ranked team and end up in the top 25, you think he'll get the hate that Deion Sanders got when he put Colorado on the map? I have a feeling he will not.
No. Definitely won't. I'm looking at their schedule. I don't even know if it matters. I mean, here's their schedule. TCU at Charlotte, Richmond, UCF, it's the ACC, which is now includes schools like Stanford, Cal.
What are we even doing? Like, why?
But again, Joe, back to my initial point is like the owners, you're stupid. Any owner, and it starts with Atlanta. Any owner that didn't choose him because what? Like I don't understand what pedigree he's got. He's got the highest pedigree of any coach. Why would you not want? I don't understand the control thing. Say what you want about the last few years of the Patriots defense. The Patriots team. Their defense was still really good. He's the defensive side of the ball. Let's not forget, guys, he whiffed on a lot of draft picks. Mac Jones made the playoffs. He took Mac fucking Jones to the playoffs. So yeah, they whiffed. Mac Jones made the playoffs with them. That's all I'm saying.
And he took Tom Brady to 10 Super Bowls.
Not going there. The Patriots model, and this can actually segue the conversation. The Patriots model for winning, creating a culture, creating a vibe, for lack of a better term, is literally the model that the Chiefs are using, that every team should use if you want to be consistently good. Have a defense, have a good coach, have a generational quarterback, which isn't always easy, but have a quarterback you can trust. Don't put too many assets into the skilled players. And trust that QB and trust that defense. And that's why I'm starting to sour a little on Joe Burrow, because he's out there saying we got to keep T. Here's the thing, Joe. If you want to keep T and you want to keep Jamar Chase, to me, you are not serious about winning. You see what your defense is. And that's my point. That's all I wanted to say about Burrow was like.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, is there a bigger LeBron James stan in the world than me? Probably not. At least not one that comes from like only truth and fact-based love for the man. He's a fucking terrible GM. All he ever wanted was Carmelo and Chris Paul and this guy and that guy and Dwayne Wade to come over to the fucking, the Cavs and blah, blah. Like, it's a terrible GM. Like, that's not your job, man. Play quarterback and throw to the guys that we give you.
Well, that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because that was going to be my second point. I don't ever remember, and I could be wrong, I don't ever remember Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Patrick Mahomes talking about keeping their guys.
But Aaron Rodgers sure did, didn't he?
And I was going to say Aaron Rodgers did. And obviously that didn't end up well. They didn't win another title.
And the Cowboys, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
Look, I think Burrow's a great quarterback, but you and I have said this. You and I have said this. Dude, you've always had weapons.
Dan Marino is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah. You've always had weapons, Burrow. And to me, I don't know why you go out there and publicly say we can make it work when, one, you took the most money you wanted. And I don't fault you for that. I don't fault any NFL player for getting paid.
I don't fault any player for getting paid in any sport whatsoever. What Jalen Brunson did, there's a reason why he will never have to pay for a drink, never will have to pay for a car, never will have to pay for anything in the rest of his life in New York City. But you can't count on guys to do that, because free cars don't pay the bills if you shred your knee.
For sure. And that's what I'm saying. I don't fault him for taking the money, but just know, Burrow, you can't pay yourself. You can't get paid. Jamar Chase can't get paid. T. Higgins can't get paid. Unless you want another year like this year. Hey, we're going to put up 30 points and lose every game. Like, dude, if you want to be Drew Brees,
look at the Niners, dude. They paid Debo. They played McCaffrey. They paid Kittle. Then they paid Ayuk. And then what? One guy goes down, two guys. Now you're just like, well, Brock Purdy's not throwing the ball to fucking Troy Brown in the Super Bowl after Troy Brown came off the field and had to fill in at nickel.
Yeah, seriously.
David Tyree's not walking through that door. You are a guy who's propped up by stars, and now suddenly the conversation is they can't pay him. Of course they can't. Who have I been saying that for fucking the entirety of his thing? I said they're going to be the first team not to do it. They're going to be the first team not to do it. If Brock Purdy doesn't get franchise tagged this offseason, I will be shocked.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen with that contract. I don't think he's going to get the money some of these guys have been getting. But again, it's a team game. And the notion, again, to go back to Belichick, dude, you need a fucking defense. You need a defense. I find it, I don't know. I find it really interesting that your QB, who knows the reason you're 5-8 is going to go out there after a Monday Night Football win, which was literally the Cowboys out-bangling the Bengals on the blocked punt. And you're going to say, we got to make it like we have needs, and T is one of our needs. I'll just say this, Burrow, Josh Allen lost his two, not just Stephon Diggs, his two top receivers from last year.
Also, I don't know if you lost him. If you take your dog into the woods and you take him off his leash and you get in the car and you leave, I don't think you lost your dog.
And who's the MVP right now? Vegas odds favorite is Josh Allen. I just, what amazes me is, I know everyone's going to say, well, Ruther, Philly's doing it.
Philly's overpaid wide receiver is currently trashing his quarterback.
My point of all this is, if you want sustainable success where you can actually compete for a Super Bowl, you better have a defense. Literally every fucking statistic backs it up. Every statistic.
Well, think about the Broncos with Peyton Manning. Remember Peyton Manning comes to the Broncos and they set every offensive record and they get boat raced in the Super Bowl. Yeah. And then 2 years later, he's terrible at QB. His neck is hanging off like a bobblehead doll. And they beat the team with the MVP because of their defense.
I mean, and let's not forget, dominated that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I agree. It's just, it's like, I don't know. It's right in front of you. It's the obvious is right in front of you. How to actually win games and have longevity. The Patriots did it, and the Chiefs basically said, okay, we can do that. And I know everyone's going to say, well, they had Gronk, and now they have Kelsey. Guys, this isn't Kelsey from just even 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, look, you and I both agree, Burrow's great, but when I see things like Troy Aikman go after that Monday night game, I don't know if you probably didn't see this. When I see headlines like Troy Aikman thinks Burrow's the best in the game, and he's saying all these things, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know how we forget about Mahomes. It's weird to me. All these
also you're allowed to have your opinion,
sure.
But when you're surrounded by elite offensive talent, you don't even really get it. The only way you can prove it is to win a Super Bowl. If you don't win a Super Bowl, you've proven nothing. You've proven you're Tua. Oh, you put up numbers with elite offensive talent. You've proven you're Tua. You've proven you're Jalen Hurts. That's what you prove when you go out there with elite offensive talent and put up a bunch of numbers and miss the playoffs.
What's funny about all this is that I'm glad you cited the Broncos. We can also cite the Patriots, the record-breaking offensive season with Randy Moss and Tom Brady. And guess what? They didn't win. They lost to your Giants. Because guess what? The Giants.
You got to say it so everybody can have their Friday early afternoon drink.
Yeah.
They lost to the Giants and
your boy Eli.
That's right. Happy Friday, everybody.
And look, maybe the Eagles go far this year. But my point is, I think we both agree, it's not sustainable. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, do you want a window where you could maybe win a Super Bowl for 3 or 4 years? Or do you want maybe 1 to 2? I'd want longevity. I'd want not just a crapshoot. Hey, this better be our year.
I mean, we've talked about it. We've talked about it 1,000 times with quarterbacks and the passing record. And it's happened once in the history of the game with Patrick Mahomes.
Once.
The flip side goes with the rushing record in modern football. When's the last team to win the Super Bowl with the rushing champ? Terrell Davis?
Probably Terrell Davis.
And look at the Adrian Peterson 2,000-yard
Vikings.
Yeah. Look at the Eric Dickerson Rams. Look at all these guys. Like, it's about balance. So Saquon's going to break the all-time rushing record. I hope he does. I hope he does. You know what's going to happen in the locker room? Your quarterback security blanket's going to call him a cunt.
Yeah. I don't know. I think all this is pretty obvious. And again, it's bizarre to me that just some teams they don't follow that template. And I'm glad you brought up the Niners. They did pay all those guys. And where are they now? I don't know if you heard them, but like last night they were talking during the game and they said, I don't know if it was Michaels or Herb Street, and one of them was like, or maybe it was after the game. I think it was after the game. The panel, I think somebody was like, hey man, they were great. They made 2 Super Bowls. They didn't win one. They made a lot of NFC championships, but like I think that this time frame, this 5-year run is done, and now they got to figure some things out.
Well, listen, this is the other thing that the Eagles are facing right now is you have this window. And what should the Niners do? The Niners should tag Brock Purdy, cut Christian McCaffrey, just cut him. Right? Like, what is your other option at this point? You're going to pay this guy to come back after he came back this year, couldn't get healthy, couldn't stay on the field, out again. I am a fan of I like Christian McCaffrey, but this is Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. He's never going to be the same. And you're paying him a lot. Cut him. He's gone. Try to figure out. I mean, Debo's eating fucking cheeseburgers on the bench. He's gone. Get a defense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they had a great defense. It's taking some steps back. I mean, they got guys walking up the field.
Why did it take some steps back? They just stopped caring about it? They were just like, offense wins championships?
Can't have a defense when you're paying everybody on offense.
Yeah. But all the Kirk Cousins defenders have deactivated their accounts. So,
you know what nobody talks about? I don't know why. You know what nobody talks about? We talk about, we're talking about Joe Burrow always having talent, or Tua, or any of these guys. Who are the top 2 receivers in the fucking Rams, guys? A 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick.
They won a game this year that they weren't expected to win, and because of that, they kept Cooper Kupp. He was out the door.
Yeah,
because they're like, well, we can't make a run without him, but we can't rebuild with him. It's not a knock on the player. I bet you're kicking yourselves. The Giants let go of Saquon Barkley. What am I doing with Saquon Barkley? Paying him $21 million to take a picture with the 1st overall pick? That's why the coping, not to segue back and then come back, but the coping Yankee fan is the clowniest clown that's ever clowned, because there is no salary cap in baseball.
Well, for sure. The real quick on the Saquon thing, I agree with you. I don't know why anybody from Philly would be like, look what you guys are missing, when Saquon being on a 6-11 team does nothing. Doesn't do anything for them. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah, hurts the Giants.
What's that?
It hurts the Giants.
Yeah. I mean, you'd rather have a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. And that's why the window right now, if you're the Eagles, you best win the Super Bowl. You're going to have to pay Devontae. You got Saquon's money on the books. A.J. Brown's already paid. He hates your quarterback. Hurts' number hasn't even ballooned yet.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you gotta And here's the thing. I know it's not easy to like. I think drafting's a crapshoot. My philosophy would be if I was a GM, you don't know how these guys are going to pan out. That's why you want to get as many picks as possible. So if you can get as many picks, hope a couple pan out on the defensive side of the ball, and then you build around that. I just think it's not rocket science here. And you do have windows when you pay all these guys. But that's why I'm watching that game last night and I'm going, the Rams had one like real shitty year after the Super Bowl. But I go, they've never, like, you talk about a franchise that just, and I think just because nobody cares in LA and it doesn't have the fanfare of a lot of these cities. But I go, you look at how they've drafted with Les Snead and how they didn't have a number one pick, but how the Cooper Kupps and the Pukas, and obviously Sean McVay's a great coach and Matthew Stafford's a great quarterback. But I think those two guys, in a weird way, are underrated in my opinion. Definitely Stafford, but I think McVay. And you say this is all I would say to bring it back to kind of the Burrow thing. Joe, I think you're great. Stafford's doing it with a 3rd rounder and a 5th rounder. You got a top 5 pick in Chase. T. Higgins was a 2nd rounder, I believe. But my point is, even I know you and I talked about this. Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne was like the 30th pick. Marvin Harrison was the 18th pick. They're not top 10.
But and it's like the meal is built on defense. The meal is built on the trenches.
Correct.
If my nephew comes up to me and he's like, so I have to take in 1,500 calories for dinner. Yeah. He's like, I'll do 3 banana splits. I'm like, okay. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out the way you think it does. Oh, you want 3 banana splits? In theory, sounds delicious. You're going to throw up and you're definitely not going to win the Super Bowl. You're going to vomit into the Super Bowl.
And to me, that's why a lot of these fans are just stupid. You're literally watching the Bills season play out. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember how many people before the season started were like, dude, what are they going to do on offense? I don't know. They're going to run the ball. They're going to trust their line, which was already pretty good. And they're going to trust Allen to not turn the ball over.
I didn't say that. I said I'm on the Bills for the first time in 5 years because they got rid of Stephon Diggs and are going with the modern success game plan. That's what I said, right?
Yeah.
You can go back and listen to the free preview if you want.
But that's also why both you and I were geeked about the Chargers hire with Harbaugh.
Yeah. And them letting all the guys go.
All of them.
Yeah.
Their top receivers, their top running back. Harbaugh went in the bargain bin and got guys who had been injured. Got all these like ex-Ravens guys who were running backs. Cool. I'm going to pick those up in the $2 DVD bin at Walmart. And I'm going to trust my O-line. Oh, I drafted a top O-lineman from Notre Dame. I'm going to support my other top O-lineman I drafted, Slater. It's like,
and who's your number one receiver going to be? I don't know. We picked up a roadie from you too. Lad McConkey. I've carried a team before.
Dude, we got to talk about this Brett Favre Gastineau video. Dude,
CTE is,
bro, this
CTE All-Stars.
Oh, this is a CTE. I saw this. I sent it to you like right when it came out, and I just texted Prano. I go, "Is this real?" At first, and I was like, "Oh, this is a 30 for 30
CTE deathmatch. Get it on."
100% CTE deathmatch. So, I guess they're doing a little 30 for 30 on this. I haven't really followed. I don't really care about it. Maybe I'll watch it, but the whole point is the video.
They're doing a 30 for 30 on what? Gastineau?
What is it? Let me pull it up. Let me see if there's something. Yeah. Catch the latest 30 for 30 It's titled and I don't know if this is a short. I think they do shorter ones. The New
Yeah.
York Sack Exchange on ESPN and ESPN Plus starting December 13th.
Yeah.
It's got to be a short one.
Yeah.
So I guess basically they have this great video of Mark Gastineau who had the single season sack record.
Yeah.
Which was broken by Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
On the pretty infamous sack of Brett Favre, where he just kind of let him sack him. Also, he was going to get destroyed though. And I think that's part of the story. So this video, I'm gonna pull this up. Gastineau confronts Favre at like a memorabilia signing or something. Dude, it's so awkward and funny. And like you said, it's just like two idiots that had their brains bashed in. Let me play it.
You tell me met a long time ago. At least I saw you.
Right.
How you doing?
When you fell down for him. I'm going to get my sack back. I'm going to.
What does that even mean?
It means he wants to sack Favre. He wants to tackle him.
I don't know how to explain it to his kicked by a horse CTE brain, but that will not help him at all in the season sack record.
And I love Favre being like, you could hurt me. This is so great.
Get my sack back, dude.
You probably would hurt me.
Well, I don't care. You hurt me. You hurt me. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You really hurt me.
Dude's ready to cry.
I know.
Like,
He
it's
played
sad.
for the Jets. And his daughter became a reality star that fucking the New York socialite scene ran through.
She did?
Oh, yeah. You don't remember?
When was
Her
she
and the
big?
mom. She was actually hot. The daughter was hot.
When was she big?
Oh, early 2000s. His wife was Lisa, the Gastineau girls. It was on like E. How did you not watch this?
Oh, I didn't. What am I missing here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his first wife Lisa Gastineau and their daughter Brittany
Yeah.
Gastineau. Oh, I remember her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gastineau girls. Gastineau has a son with actress Bridget Nielsen. Oh, he banged her too? Do you know this?
Bridget Nielsen. Jesus Christ.
Gastineau has a son with Bridget Nielsen. He was estranged from both children in 2010.
Because he went on a manhunt for Brett Favre. Dad went out for milk one day and didn't come back. I keep catching spottings of him at card signing appearances where Brett Favre is scheduled. Did you see the Brett Favre 30 tweet thread explaining the situation and the 0 tweet thread explaining the time that he stole from the fucking Mississippi Welfare Fund?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, there's so many layers to this. There's so many layers to this.
I wish Mark Gastineau would pile drive Brett Favre and in doing so, hit his head on the floor and just let them literally turn it into a CTE death match. I just want, like, can we just clear the deck here?
It's so insane.
You hurt me, Brett.
We got to get back to this, Brett. I'm sorry.
Look at that. My favorite dude is the dude here in the front with the badge and his hands in his pockets playing pocket pool, being like, oh, how about this Pro Bowl helmet? Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe I'll buy that one. Get it on eBay. I gotta go.
I do love the people around Favre, especially that dude acting like, oh, nothing to see here. I mean, he's ready to cry.
Anybody will tell you Brett Favre.
He looks like a WWE character. The mullet, the jet black dyed hair.
He looks like the Incredible Hulk if he retired.
He does.
You know, I really figured out how to manage my rage. So now I'm just, every once in a while I'll Hulk out at a card show if I see Brett Favre, but otherwise, just Mark Gastineau.
Took a dive. And you know it. She knows it. He knows it. And everybody knows it.
Who's she? Who is she? One of his estranged kids? His ex-wife? Bridget Nielsen? Who's she? The people that the woman who Brett Favre stole money from, the welfare, like who is the she?
The she is the fucking segment producer on the 30 for 30 doc that he's doing, who's never watched a game of football in her life, was like, me? I don't even know what you're talking about, honestly.
Is he at a Jets themed nightclub? Where are they
He might be
filming this?
I think that might be the Jets weight room, which is wild.
That is wild. Jesus Christ.
I didn't know what had happened. The NFL should have stopped that
What?
and said, listen, no. That's not a sack.
Wait. So he wants the NFL to stop mid-game. What did he want? Somebody just
Also, he doesn't think you should be able to take a knee at the end of the game. All possessions, all snaps must end in tackles.
did he want?
That's why he's
Did he
gonna
want-
be eating out of a fucking. That's why he's gonna be. That's why his dinner one day is gonna be the same thing my nephew orders. If we don't fucking limits on him, he's just gonna be one day in an old age home eating 3 banana splits a day through a straw.
Did he want somebody? You know, like when the old Showtime at the Apollo, when they'd come out and bring you off stage.
Sweep
Is that what he
'em up.
wanted? Is that what he wanted in the middle of the game? Just somebody to come out, like Roger to Goodell, to come out and just bring them off the field? Like, yeah, this doesn't work. No, this is over. Somebody on YouTube said, I thought that was Chris Farley.
He took my record away from me.
Mark Gastineau's record of 22 sacks in a single season, which he achieved in 1984, stood until the final minutes of the 2001 season.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. Let's watch the play here real quick, Brano.
Yeah. Oh, it's a dive.
It's a dive, but also it's the end of the game.
Yeah.
The Packers are winning. Also, do you think Strahan was a beast? You think he wants to take an extra hit at the end of the game? As
Right.
dumb as Favre is. I mean, he knows.
Strahan gets the sack. And you know what? No one's happier than Brett Favre. He gets the record. Well, he got to give me is what he got.
There was nobody else that wanted Michael to get that more than Brett.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I want to know how they produced all this, how they coordinated this. Like they ambushed Brett Favre, which I love because it's hilarious. And he's got his team around him. I just want to know how this was all set up. I mean, how long can this 30 for 30 be? I just showed you a 1:17 clip. Like, what else do we need? What else is the 30 for 30? It's got to be a short one,
The
right?
80s in New York and cocaine and Wall Street and the New York Sack Exchange. And Joe Namath had just won the Super Bowl just 15 years ago.
You remember how good the 30 for 30s used to be?
Yeah. Well, Bill Simmons left.
Now they're doing this. They're doing drive-by ambushes. Where's the 30 for 30 on Brett Favre stealing all this millions of dollars from people in Mississippi? That's the one I want to see.
Yeah.
I wonder how Favre would have reacted if he was like, I'm a welfare family. You stole from me.
It'd be great if this is just the new 30 for 30 is just people punking Brett Favre. Like the next people who show up are the welfare kids. Brett Favre's like, I'm not going to fucking card shows anymore until 30 for 30 is out of business.
Man. There's something, I don't know. Maybe because you and I aren't like collectors or memorabilia guys. There's something about these card shows that are in a way depressing for me.
Yeah.
For athletes. I don't know. Like not for other things.
Is the Venn diagram of card collectors and WWE watchers just a circle?
Oh yeah, for sure it's close.
It's like something you were into when you were 12 and something that's fucking scary to be into at 25.
But here's my thing on the athlete. I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one. The athlete one is different than like going to see the cast of Star Wars. Like, I don't find it depressing if the guy who played a Wookiee is trying to make a few bucks. Does that make any sense? But I find it depressing.
Because the guy who played a Wookiee didn't make any money.
That's my point. So I'm like, get paid, bro. But like when I see 300 football helmets and Brett Favre. I'm like, this is kind of depressing.
Well, Brett Favre's a fucking con artist.
Well, for sure.
How many seasons did Brett Favre play in the NFL? Not 300. No one's going, Brett Favre, there's a lot of game-worn helmets here. Oh, yeah, switch them out every quarter.
Yeah. Absolutely wild. Anyway, I'll be tuning in for that, Joe. I got a quick call. I'm gonna play. We'll keep it kind of football related. This is based on something. Actually, I'll be curious what your thoughts are on this. You probably didn't see this on the Manning cast, but I'm gonna play it because I know you don't like Chris Collinsworth. But I thought the same thing when I saw this, and I was like, this is kind of an interesting little tidbit that Collinsworth is that Chris Collinsworth is revealing.
What's up, guys? Corbin from Colorado. I was tuning into the Manning cast last night during the Bengals-Cowboys game. It was in the fourth quarter when Chris Collinsworth was on, and he mentioned that the famous slide-in on the Sunday Night Football broadcast when it was Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels, that was due to it being in the contract of Al Michaels that it is only himself in the first minute of the broadcast on Sunday Night Football. Hence the reason Chris Collinsworth slides in after that minute is up. And I have to say that just makes me feel some type of way about Al Michaels. I don't know if this has any tie-in with the, lack of enthusiasm during Thursday Night Football these days or what exactly it is, but I wanted to see your guys' opinion on that and see what you guys think about that contracted 1 minute of alone screen time for Al Michaels. Seems like a weird move. Stay dirty.
When Collinsworth said this, I was like, I bet Al Michaels is pissed. So basically, yeah, he told the Manning brothers that because they were laughing about the slide, he's like, it's in his contract. He gets 60 seconds just by himself. And that's how Al wanted it. So we created the slide to kind of have fun with it.
Al Michaels has always been a douche. I'm going to say that, but I'm going to do a slight defense of him here. Agents are the biggest douches. His reps probably being like, no, he's in. Collinsworth is his co-host. And maybe he's like, yes. And maybe he's like, do we need this in there? And they're like, we need it in there.
Look, I've always thought he was a good announcer. Not eating vegetables, that's weird to me. Like, what are you, my fucking 2-year-old daughter? Like, the not eating vegetables, that's weird. That's bizarre, unhealthy. I mean, it's a lot of things. And I don't know if you've seen it, but yeah, the knocks on him the last 2 years of just like, dude, he's mailed it in on Amazon and they don't care. And his contract's up. They're saying he's going to re-up. I mean, he's in his 80s.
And what are we doing? Who cares?
So I don't care. And that's this is the point I wanted to bring up. Thanks for the call, Corbin. I wanted to bring this up. I just don't think the announcers, what amazes me is how much money they're throwing at Romo and Brady. I just don't think anybody cares.
No.
Anymore. It's not 1985.
Every single time they re-up Stephen A's contract, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? And he's not even a game caller. He's just a fucking clown. But the guys calling the games, it's like, is anybody who's going to miss Al Michaels? Who? Like, I can't think of one. Will Al Michaels' kids miss Al Michaels? Or will Al Michaels' kids be like, maybe we can get dad home, get him in his soft chair, feed him a vegetable for the first time in his life? Like, do they even want him to do it? I don't think one single person. Kirk Herbstreit definitely doesn't fucking want him there.
Yeah. I know. It's weird because it doesn't enhance the like you and I have talked about this. People love the NFL so much. I don't care who's announcing. Now, look, do I have guys I prefer?
By the way, I love Chris Collinsworth having to deal with this. Al Michaels leaving, Mike Tirico filling in, and him being like, you'll never believe this. You know why we had to do the slide thing? Al Michaels demanded that he have a minute on his own. I'm just excited to have a guy, fucking chill background, pulled himself up through the bootstraps, know what it's like to be a minority in America. And then Mike Tirico's like, I'm Italian. And he's like, here we go again. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Did your agents tell you to say that?
I did when he was on the Manning cast, I did laugh because I was like, he was doing it from, of course, Collinsworth is doing it from his house. And I was like,
Walt staring in the ghost of Walt looking in the window.
I was like, somewhere my dad's watching. My dad's like, I know exactly where that is in Northern Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's his house.
Walt was in the room watching. That's where he was. He's like, I've waited my whole life for this. Watch a game with Collinsworth.
I just don't think it matters. I mean, I think we both agree. It just doesn't matter who's announcing. It's not what it used to be. And also, when you have a million games on, like a lot of people do, you're not even hearing the announcers. So I don't know why these networks keep doing that shit. It's just lighting money on fire. Now, what I really want to see is them cut to Michaels on the start of the broadcast, and he's cutting up like asparagus. Like, maybe I'll get interested. You cut to Michaels, and he's eating some roasted broccoli or some shit. Who doesn't eat vegetables? Have you ever heard such a wild claim
I think he's had some corn mash in his life. I know that for sure.
Well, I don't get it.
That's what they make bourbon with.
Oh, okay. Make bourbon with corn mash? I never knew that. How's that work?
I don't know. I'm not. What am I? A distiller?
What's your go-to liquor?
Liquor, whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah. I have become, and one of the dirtballs messaged me about it because I think I mentioned it on the show. I've become obsessed with Japanese whiskey. Really into Japanese whiskey these days. But typically like a bourbon, little Maker's Mark.
What's a Japanese whiskey?
So whiskey from Japan.
Yeah, but like, what was it called?
I mean, there's Suntory is one of the ones that that was made famous in the Bill Murray. What is it? Lost in Translation. He's doing
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, he's doing a Suntory time commercial. I don't know. I mean, they're all. I bought about 4 of them in the last.
Where you get those?
2 weeks. Regular liquor stores.
They'll have them.
Yeah, I've gotten a few of them. They're a little lighter, not quite as sweet. It's a nice when I've over bourboned myself. I like to pivot a little bit.
You should go to Japan.
I would love to go. It's on my to-do list.
I would love to go to Japan too.
I want to go to Japan. I talked to a buddy of mine who's a chef when I was doing the Joe Prano podcast, and I asked him if he had to go to one city just for food tourism. He was like Tokyo. So I want to do that. I want to go experience Japan and Japanese food in Japan. But also, I feel like if I go in the spring, I can maybe get some Japanese snowboarding in, see some Japanese baseball.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who worked over there. He was teaching English to Japanese businessmen, kind of just refining the English right after college. And it's kind of a regret of mine. I was teaching too at the time.
You were teaching English to kids in Vegas.
Yes.
It was also their second language.
It was.
Your teacher.
Hey, Mr. Ruther, man. But that's one of my regrets of like, talk about an opportunity to go. You have somebody living in Tokyo.
Yeah. I've heard it's expensive.
Oh yeah. bro, his apartment was like, it would make the Smut Studio look like a palace.
Smaller than my place in Venice?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's tiny.
I was just telling my girl about my apartment in Venice the other day. I was like, I really never needed anything more than that. What a gem.
You really don't.
Once I got everything in and got rid of all the stuff I didn't need, light came in, one rug, TV, desk, bookshelf.
Dude, don't even get me started. Like when I see Amazon packages arrive, like I turn into Mark Gaston now. Like I want to cry, I want to get angry. I'm like, what'd she order now? What did she order? What'd she order? Why are we getting text messages from
Andy and Dirty Sports quoted on Bleacher Report today?
Is this Justin?
Yeah.
He's not
Justin, I'm assuming, just started the podcast, so he's catching up.
He's not gonna like what he hears me saying about Burrow. I have another theory about Burrow, which I know people are gonna kill me for. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
I think he's a wannabe Tom Brady.
Wow.
Here's my thing. Burrow's great, but here's the thing with the fashion shows. It's like, dude, Brady was winning Super Bowls, man. You know, I'm sure you saw that Burrow's house got broken into.
Yeah.
Right
after he was on Hard Knocks talking about his $3 million Batmobile.
Yeah, and I had to laugh because he's talking about. By the way, I don't like them posting. I think that's fucked up. The news now they could find it, but I don't like them posting pictures of
the crime
where
scene.
he lived, and he's not actually that far from me. But what's funny is he's talking about his privacy, and I'm like, dude, you're going on runways in Paris and fashion shows. Like, I think he low key wants to be Tom Brady so badly, which is fine. But my thing to him is, then you better win fucking Super Bowls. And guess what? It goes back to my point. Guess how
my
Brady
thing is, Tom Brady was Tom Brady because he didn't share the spotlight with any receivers or any running backs or anybody.
Say that again.
Tom Brady was Tom Brady because he didn't share the spotlight on the Patriots. He shared the spotlight with Belichick. Shared the spotlight with his coach.
That's a good point. Well, obviously they don't have a Belichick, but what I was going to say was, if you want to be Brady, and that's my like weird Andy theory, if you want to be Brady so badly, study his teams. Again, game manager for the first few years, all defense. Like that's the Tom Brady model, man. Do you have any faith that you can catch me this year, Prano?
I don't even know where we're at. I honestly, we're in what was this? This is week 15 coming up.
So
we have 4 weeks left.
You have 4 weeks left.
Did I pick up any games last week?
You lost a game.
Well, then no.
Throw in the towel.
14?
You're down 13. You're down 13.
It would be an unprecedented choke on your behalf. You know, even Andy Ruther's not capable of this kind of choke. I don't think. This would be 28-3.
You haven't had a better week than me since week 6.
Yeah, when I went fucking
when
I went
crushed
undefeated,
12
essentially.
Yeah, I'm up 13, and we both picked the Rams last night, which worked out. All right, well, I'm shocked to hear that from you. I thought you'd be like, Ruther, you're going to choke.
Well, you could. It'll get closer because you are Ruther after all. But I think that might be too big of a lead for even you to blow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there's some good games this week, and I'm kind of disappointed in the NFL because there's some games that I'm like, why are these games not in prime time, especially on Sunday games? All right, Chiefs, Browns.
Well, to be fair, they have the Family Guy game that's coming up, and then there's the Bob's Burger game. So
if
some of these can't be moved.
If that couldn't be more further proof that you don't need to pay all these announcers. Oh yeah, watch the Simpsons Cowboys Bengals game. I didn't even tune in to the announcers. And Nickelodeon doing like their thing with SpongeBob or whatever, Slime. It's the same thing. I want to see a game where Brett Favre and Mark.
Do the guys who
Gastineau
watch the Simpsons broadcast, WWE watchers and card collectors, is that also a circle? How many things can we add to the circle?
Yeah. And they love beef jerky.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I like beef jerky.
Where did that come from?
Where to what?
Just a shot at beef jerky.
It's not a shot. I'm not taking shots at any of these guys.
No, I'm just saying what triggered the beef jerky mention.
I just think I can just picture them eating beef jerky.
Yeah.
And smelling like beef
Well,
jerky.
mostly Slim Jim. Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
And for the record, if somebody said, "Hey, Ruther, I got tickets to a wrestling event," I would go, like in a heartbeat. I wouldn't pay for it. If Monday Night Raw or whatever it is that broadcast now, if they were in Cincinnati, purely people watching, I'd find it interesting. I'd totally go because I would find it fascinating.
I'd go for the Mark Gastineau Brett Favre match.
They just do like a first grade spelling bee.
The tag Mark Gastineau and Brittany Gastineau against Brett Favre and fucking Linda McMahon. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm there. All right. We'll start off with Chiefs Browns. Here we go again, Joe. Here we go again with the Chiefs. They're not covering the spread, so they're not good. They're 4.5-point favorites in Cleveland.
I'll take the Chiefs.
You don't trust Jameis?
No.
He got a lot more airtime this week on Hard Knocks.
Did he?
Yeah, they make him. I knew they were going to do this. He comes home, his kids are waiting. He's such a good dad, and it's just, and of course, they covered his career and just like his NFL career, and you're just like, dude, you're praying to God on the interceptions.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing.
Ethan right now is snapping into a Slim Jim in his Roman Reigns shorts, seething.
I'm gonna agree with you though. I think this is a game they do cover, even though it's 4.5. All right, Bengals Titans, another crummy one to start. It's in Tennessee. Bengals are 5-point favorites. Zach Taylor versus his old OC. By the way, that's why you were seeing that's I was doing some trolling on the Bengals beat writer did like a story on like Taylor against his former OC, and I couldn't resist. I was like, oh yeah. Of course, I posted something like neither of these guys will be in the NFL by 2028. No, I said neither of these guys should be a head coach, and neither will be in the NFL. Somebody's like, oh, you have a crystal ball. I love when people respond on comments. You have a crystal ball. They got to the Super Bowl in an AFC Championship game. I'm like, are we doing this? Not because of them, but I think the Bengals whoop their ass. Even though 5 is a fair amount, I'm going to take the Bengals to win and cover.
Same.
All right, Commander Saints. Derek Carr is out for the year, right? This is because this spread has really moved. Washington is now 7.5. Dude, did you see something that they might go back to Redskins? I hope that's a troll.
Yeah.
It's got to be, right?
I'm playing strategically here because I'm up first, right?
You are in this one, yeah.
I'm going to take the Saints to cover.
That was a bad strategy.
Fuck.
Because I was without doubt going to take the Saints. I don't care who's playing quarterback. Okay, you can do the next one, or I'll lead the next one. Ravens Giants. It's up to 16. I know you guys are a disaster, but that's too much. I'm going to take the Giants.
It's come down from 60.5, so I like it. I'll take the Ravens by 61 or more.
Okay.
Oh, you said 16.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Well, I'm definitely in for that.
All right, so I just got a comment on YouTube saying you should be allowed to pick second every time to make this interesting. But there would be an asterisk if Ruther loses. I mean, what do you think?
No, I think this is the only way to do it.
Okay. All right, Cowboys Panthers in Carolina. Carolina's a 3-point favorite.
I'll take the Cowboys. Panthers have looked good, but I mean, and I like what they're showing us, but they're still a bad team, so I don't see them putting together like 5 great games in a row.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I'm gonna take the Cowboys too. Sorry. They're favorites, man. Jets, Jags. Jets are 3.5-point favorites. I'll take the Jags.
Where's good?
In Jacksonville.
All right, fuck it. I'll take the Jets because I have to.
Okay. Dolphins, Texans. This is a definite must win for the Dolphins with 7 losses. They basically probably have to win out. Houston's a 3-point favorite. It's in Houston. What do you think?
I'll take the Texans late run here, late push.
Upset pick of the week. Dolphins win and cover.
Wow. Here we go.
All right. Colts, Broncos. Again, another game that, I mean, if the Broncos win this, they're really putting themselves in position for one of those wild card spots. Same, like Colts have to win. It's in Denver. Denver's 4.5-point favorites. Now, we laughed. Somebody left a call about Bo Nix being rookie of the year. We laughed. Obviously, I think we both still agree that it's Jaden Daniels, but Bo Nix is right there. At this point, he's behind him. 4.5 is a lot.
Is it you or is it me first?
I'm up first. I think the Colts keep it close.
Oh, fuck. I was also going to take the Colts, but now I'll take offensive rookie of the year, Bo Nix, to cover.
All right. These next 2 games are ones that I wish were in prime time. You have Bills, they're both at 4:25, which sucks. You got Bills, Lions in Detroit. Detroit's 2.5-point favorites.
Take the Bills to win the game.
I agree. I think the Bills win this game. And here's the thing, man, for the Bills. Now they're going to be battling for that 2nd seed.
Yeah.
With the Steelers.
Yeah.
And the Steelers have a tough game. So they have Philly at Philly.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think these teams play each other, but it's like that 2nd seed is going to be really important too.
Yeah.
All right. So we both agree the Bills win. Steelers, Eagles. I'm up first. Eagles are 5.5-point favorite. That's a big spread. I'm for sure taking the Steelers.
I think that the it's in Philly.
It's in Philly.
I think the Eagles win this game, but 5.5. No. Also, I'll be interested to see. This will be a good test for the Eagles offense, that's for sure.
Well, I think it's going to be a good test for both teams. Right? Like, if the Steelers upset them, I don't know. Like, does it change anybody's opinion?
Well, but here's the thing. Like, yeah, if the Steelers upset them, if I think would change some people's opinions about the Steelers and probably the Eagles, but I think this is a test for Philly's offense in that if the Eagles win this game 15-12 and don't get anything going, I think they can win this game and be exposed simultaneously. So I think it's a huge test for their offense.
I've enjoyed Mike Tomlin on Hard Knocks. And I get why now. He was the number 1 coach on anonymous votes for who guys wanted to play for. Because he gives you tough love and he's not scared to call guys out, especially in the film room, but he also loves his players. Like, it's obvious. And they love him. Like, he's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing here? But also, it's just, he's a player's coach, man. And I'm enjoying watching that. Okay. Patriots Cardinals. We don't care about this one. This is 6-point Cardinals favorites in Arizona. You're up.
I'll take the Arizona Cardinals to win and cover.
I'll take the Patriots.
Let's go.
All right, Bucks Chargers. This game could really help the Chargers to basically solidify that playoff spot. They're 3-point favorites against the Bucks in LA.
Ooh.
You know, Tampa Bay is not going to really have fans there. Normally they got to go against teams that bring a lot of fans at their home base. Bucks have looked good, but they've looked better lately. I'm going to take the Chargers to win and cover.
It's where my heart is, but I think this game could go. I think it could be a close game. I'm going to hope that it's a. My rooting interest is in the Chargers. I like rooting for this Chargers team. I like Harbaugh. I like Herbert. I like Ladd. So I'll be rooting for the Chargers despite it maybe burying me, but I'll take the Bucks.
All right, Sunday Night Football, Packers Seahawks. Green Bay's a 2.5-point favorite.
In Lambeau.
Seahawks have won 4 in a row.
And that ends now. Green Bay wins.
And covers.
Yeah, field goal at the buzz.
Yeah, I agree. Green Bay wins and covers. All right, we got 2 games of Monday Night Football. We got one on ESPN Plus. Bears, Vikings, and Falcons, Raiders. Again, why? When you had some great, and I assume it's probably scheduling for the next week, but Bears, Vikings.
Poor Kirk Cousins stands from the last 5 years of my life, having to tune into the Falcons game while their Vikings are on. Oh, so sad.
So Bears Vikings is on that's on ABC, ESPN Plus. Vikings are 7-point favorites. Big spread in Minnesota. I'm up first. I'm going to say Bears cover.
All right, I'll take the Vikings. Hate it, but let's go. Let's hope for a big Sam Darnold late MVP push.
And the Falcons are 4.
Let me ask you something. If you're the Vikings, what do you do about Sam Darnold?
That's a good question. I
mean,
know.
you can't franchise him. That would be ludicrous. You offer him some.
I don't know. 3 years, 45.
3 years, 45.
Is that too much?
No, it's
too little.
Agent will fucking laugh at it. I mean, who knows what the market will be out
3
there.
3 years, 60. I don't know. 3 years, 60. I'd stick around 3 years. He still turns the ball over too much. And again, it doesn't hurt him that he's playing with Justin Jefferson now.
Yeah. Jordan Addison's not bad either.
Yeah, exactly. Falcons Raiders in Vegas. The Raiders are 4-point dogs.
It's Raiders are 4-point dogs in Vegas too.
Falcons.
Oh, right. I'll take the Raiders to cover. Desmond Ridder revenge game.
I'm going to say the Raiders too. I mean, I feel like they're always in games, aren't they?
Yeah.
Somehow. Like they're always in games. Yeah, I'm going to say the Raiders too. Okay. We'll see how it shakes out, Mr. Prano.
Yeah.
Don't forget what the loser of this year's bet has to do. Did you remember?
No, I have no idea. Did we settle on that?
Yeah, you had to do a podcast with Brett Favre and Mark Gastineau. That's a punishment right there.
So basically, I have to do Punch Drunk?
Yeah.
Shots fired.
You have to go to a WWE event with them. You have to be their driver. I'm having memories saying you have to be their driver. I'm having memories of taking what's his name to the Comedy Store.
Rick
Shapiro.
Rick Shapiro. Pick me up at a Starbucks.
I picked him up as an apartment.
Yeah,
Did you ever take Rick?
I did. I took Rick and Maddie together one time.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, and then I took 14 clowns that also got out of the car at the same time. They were like, "How many people are in this car?"
Were those two talking?
Yeah. Why did Maddie have beef with him eventually?
No, I was just curious.
It was like Maddie who like roped me into it. I think.
I think I took Rick twice.
Is Rick alive?
No, I think he's dead.
He's dead.
Right?
I don't know. I mean, I remember it happening, but maybe I don't remember it happening.
No. I mean, his Wikipedia
says he's alive.
Says he's 65. Well, I'm gonna just put in Rick Shapiro dead.
Well, if he's got a Wikipedia page and he's not dead on it, then he's alive.
Also, when you put in Rick Shapiro, I think he has like, I think
ALS or something.
What's that?
Like ALS or something?
Yeah. Well, his last. Yeah, something's going on. He's got a bunch of artwork. Bro. Jesus Christ. All right, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. What's funny is he ended up calling me a few more times.
I had, by the way, I had this exchange. I'll throw this out there and you can think about it. But I had this exchange. So there's this guy, there's a former MLB agent who's on TikTok and he's crazy. And I have no problem. He's insane. And
what's his name?
His name is Joshua Kusnik, Kusnik. And he does these fucking wild things. And at first I follow him because like, this guy's insane and I'm here for the train wreck. And then he put up a video about how the Mets aren't getting Juan Soto. And I replied like innocuously to it. And I was like, well, what if this happens? And he was just like such a dickhead to me in my comment. So then I was like, you know what? If the Mets get Juan Soto, I'm doing a parody video of this guy. So I did a parody video of him. And then on his new account, because his old account got banned, I think by Major League Baseball, on his new account, he lost his shit at me. And
Joshua Kusnik?
Yeah.
I'm looking at his
page.
26,000 tweets.
26,000 tweets. Yeah, he's on Twitter. I haven't followed him on Twitter. The guy's insane. Anyway, I make fun of him. It kind of goes viral. I mean, not viral, but like 25,000 people have seen it or whatever. And it's very niche. Everybody was like, oh, that guy, this is hilarious. Like, this is the very small corner of the internet that I am fucking here for. Then he goes crazy and posts this video about me. And then he goes crazy, makes a video about me, then has like a whole meltdown about like 20 because he's crazy, and then posts like a really nice video about me about how like this is, you know, hilarious and everybody should follow me and whatever. But the moral of this story is he was physically removed from the winter meetings in Dallas, the MLB winter meetings. And he got like a letter saying like, if you come, we're going to arrest you. And he went anyway. And then they like presented him with the letter. And I'm like, you know what? I've had a back and forth with this crazy guy, whatever. And I thought he was insane. But now I kind of want to have him on and hear why Major League Baseball removed him from the winter meetings. I kind of love this story now.
Why is he a former agent?
No one knows. There's a lot of, if you dig deep on him on the internet, like he was in some sort of card scandal, you know, trading card scandal.
Is this Ethan?
I know. It's just a wild thing. And when I first saw him, I was like, this guy's insane. But now I'm kind of intrigued.
Why don't I look into him?
Yeah, look into him.
Is he related to Mark Gastineau by any chance?
No, he's crazier. You gotta watch him video. He had a big account and then they banned it and he's already back up. But like, I mean, he's unhinged in a hilarious way.
Where'd you post the video about him?
On TikTok. If you go to TikTok, you can pull up any one of his videos, and then you can pull up my video if you want.
What's his name?
Joshua A. Kusnik. Kusnik, I think.
His profile is next to a sign that says no autographs, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go down this rabbit. This guy looks insane.
Yeah. He is insane.
Bro. Like, is he on drugs?
I don't know. Watch it. I mean, he's probably on some sort of medication, which watch 10 of his videos, get the flavor for it, and then go watch mine. And one of his videos, like, posted yesterday, he went from like being like, fuck this guy, look at him, he's fucking, to like, hello, Joe Prano. This guy's a man. And I was like, talk about fucking.
He pivoted.
Well, you know, what's bipolar?
Yeah, he seems like that. All right. Well, 310-359-8365. Give us a shout. That's a hotline.
If you're in West LA, I'm supposed to be at Justin Wood's show, Old Fella, on Wilshire tonight, right next to his favorite spot, Q's. But we'll see how I'm feeling. I'll talk to Justin about that. Have some shows coming up, though, including back at Bozeman, Montana for Last Best Comedy at the end of January. Super stoked about that. Follow me on all social media at Joe Prano and go to joeprano.com/shows for shows.
Cool. I'm engaged, by the way.
Whoa! Slow playing it. Putting it behind the paywall in case your dad hates your guts.
Well, you know, I talked about it on the Andy Ruther show this week. If you guys want to hear about it, you can go there.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks. I'm a weekend. I mean, it's like I say, it's not that big of a deal when you own a house together and have a kid and a second one on the way. It's just.
But it's a big deal. You had to go get that ring. You got to spend some of that chili money on a ring.
I did.
You know?
Spent some of that chili money on a ring, and we made it happen last Friday. So here we are.
Has she already started talking about a wedding?
Oh, we're just going to do courthouse.
Courthouse. Okay.
Yeah.
She's chill like that.
Oh, she's totally chill. We're
funny.
talking.
My girl wants a wedding, but she's being so chill about it. So obviously you're invited. We're doing it at my buddy's pub in Tahoe after we get have the ceremony on the lake. But my buddy from Tahoe today was like, hey, have you heard about these beer burros? And I was like, no. And he's like, you can hire a donkey to walk around your wedding with a bunch of beers and satchels. And I was like, we're doing that. And she's like, I'm in.
That's hilarious.
So not a courthouse chill, but a donkey at the wedding carrying beers chill.
Don Quixote wedding, bro.
Yeah.
You'll fool.
If Miller Lite wants to get into supplying the beer for the beer burros.
Beer burros, Joe Burrows, lots of burrow talk today.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that's the title, Beer Burrow Greater Than Joe Burrow.
No one loves greater than more than Joe Prano.
That's right.
This is our 1100th episode.
Keep it 1100. Never forget the 1100,000. By the way, they closed Comedy House in New Orleans. They got fucking last second. They got run out of there. The owners sold the building out from under them. They found out on a Thursday that Sundays would be their last show. So they're scrambling to find a new place. So if you're in New Orleans, follow their Instagram and support them moving elsewhere.
Sucks.
Yeah.
That's a fun little room. That's a good little comedy room.
Hopefully they'll find a new spot to land.
Well, fucking A, Burrow. You played for LSU. You're buying Batmobiles.
Yeah, you bought a Batmobile. Buy a comedy club.
Buy a comedy club. Make it happen.
It's better.
Right, guys.
It's better investment than overpaying a second receiver.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Or some hot Instagram model to watch your house while it's getting broken into. It will always be tots for me, baby. And I could eat some tater tots right now. All right, I'm gonna get out on that now. All right, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week. And as always, stay dirty.